first part of identification and how this identification goes deeper into our life, into our mind, into our head, in our personal, professional, and social life impulsively. And that creates a lot of challenges. So we have covered the first level of identification, that I'm the body, and then appearance, and then aging, and then mortality, all kinds of thoughts. Second, identification with the sense organs. This level involves attaching attaching myself to sensory experiences and perceptions. So we identify ourselves with what we see, what we taste, what we smell, what we feel, and whatever, all the five sense organs. But how a person defines, I define myself by possessions, like I am my car, I am my smartphone, I am my sensory pleasures, and their happiness fluctuates constantly, temporary. Mind is a mirror. You are dining in a restaurant, eating a good food, and the pleasure is there. That pleasure from the tongue is reflected in the lake of the mind. How long it remains? 10, 15 minutes, it's gone. I possess this car. That very idea of that possession again is reflected in the mind. How long it remains? For a few minutes and few seconds. No, but question is, no, should I not experience those pleasures? Yes, but I should not stuck to it. Identifications with me, I am sticking to it. So if I'm sticking to these sensory identifications, what is going to happen? I heavily rely on the sensory experiences, on the sensory pleasures. When I heavily rely on it, my mind also looks the other side, because those sensory pleasures do not remain permanent, and I feel a sense of emptiness and a blankness. And that emptiness and blankness sometimes causes the loneliness, which again it triggers the impulsive nature. Because of the sensory pleasures, it also creates a kind of addiction and dependence. It always keeps the mind scattered outside. It prevents, it blocks you to succeed in the meditation. We are talking of 4 types of identification. Today, our session is what is these identification. Then we discuss that 4 types of identification and the impact of these 4 types of identification in our daily life. Because of the sensory identification or identification with the sense, that is where the craving, clinging comes. And it makes me unconscious. I'm not aware of that. Overindulgence, dependence. Are you getting it? First we discussed last week peace, happiness, love. They are inherent nature. But if they are inherent nature, they are my essential nature. How come I'm into anxiety, so identification. And then we have four types, or four levels you can say, or four levels also you can say. Outermost level is the physical, second, then the identification with the sense organs, and third is the mind. So, how I identify with the mind, with the thought, belief, and emotion. This, huh? What happens? I define myself by a thought, feeling, belief, and emotion. What happens? A kind of rigidity comes in thinking and emotional responses. You may say that I am a failure based on the past mistake and dwells on the negative thought. Mind is identifying. So my self worth fluctuates with emotional states and mental thoughts. Look at the sea, where every wave is mistaken for the ocean itself. It is not an ocean. It is not an ocean. It is simply one wave. It may be a storm. The turbulence of the waves represents the thoughts and emotions. It prevents the calm and the peace and the happiness and the love beneath. So whenever we have these type of thoughts, my mind should also think beneath it there is a peace, happiness, and love. I'm only saying simply you think of it, my friend, and then see what happens. Well, if you don't think, then what happens? Emotional